Yeah, hustling and grinding, don't know where to go. Emma Coast board, got the knowledge flow. Whispers in the wind, strategies unfold. Business blueprint like a pirate's code.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Tab Lab. We are stoked for you guys to come back and kind of hear what we have to say. Our hosts, Micky Kilburn and myself, Neal Grossheider, are here to talk about some other fun things in business that we kind of encounter every day, every time we talk to our members. And it's actually something that is probably more important than any business talk we've ever talked about. So today we're going to talk about what we like to call our holistic approach, life, health, and business. So I want to give everybody kind of a quick purview of what we do before, so you guys understand what we're talking about, because every time we meet with our members, our clients, we talk about their life, their health, and their business, and we rate them, because these three aspects of an entrepreneur, of a small business owner, are so vitally important, and they're so intertwined. Like, this is what we talk about all the time. They're so intertwined that when one starts falling, the rest will follow. Or when one starts rising, the rest will follow. And it's just a vital thing that gets overlooked because people get so focused on business. But it's not just about business. Life, health, and business, it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. And that's really what we want to harp on today.
I love that. I love that. It's a necessity.
We've seen it. Man, Micky, you've actually had some rough ones where people have come to you,
Yeah.
and the first thing out of their mouths is, I'm zeros.
Yeah. Yeah, it has. And, when they come in with that zeros, that's the thing that, we have NDA. So when they can come in and be honest about that,
Mhm.
and it's important because when you know that they're at that level, then it changes everything. We're not talking about anything but what you need. What's the zero? And I have had that where people come in, drop their bag, and said life is a zero.
Well, you're probably not going to be talking about their marketing plan at that point.
No, we're not. I mean, it's so vital. You got the three: life, health, and business, and it's a ripple effect. If one is hurting, it ripples into the other. If you're so focused on your business, your family can suffer and your health can suffer. And business don't care, or your body don't care about what your business needs for the week if it says you're having a heart attack because you're not taking care of your health. You're having a heart attack.
Yeah,
It make you take that break.
Yeah, what matters at that point? Business isn't even going to be there.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you are not there.
Yeah, absolutely it does. And at that point too, if you are so focused on your business that's all you're doing, and your family or your friends suffer, those relationships suffer. And then when you have a heart attack, now not only did you have a heart attack, and now all three are suffering. That ripple effect happened because now your family is distraught because you're sitting in the hospital because you had a stroke or a heart attack because you're so stressed out because you focused on the business.
So big thing there that you just said is a stroke. Stress related strokes are a real thing, and that happens more often than people even know about. What happens if you burnt those bridges with those friends and family because you're so focused on business, and now all of a sudden you have a stroke, which we hope and pray is not like a life-changing thing, but more of a kick you in the butt kind of thing. Do you have people there to support you? Because you can't drive.
Yeah.
You can't go to the grocery store. You can't do a lot of the things that we take for granted. And if you've only been focused on your business in that aspect of your life, you've pushed everything else away, but you're so stressed at work, so stressed in life, you have this stress-related stroke. Now, all of a sudden, who do you have?
Yeah, exactly. And there's just so many things that just trickle, that ripple effect that we talked about. But it leads to burnout as well as a person. When you're focused on just one of it like that, then you're burnt out. Well, you're the business owner. If you're burnt out, what does that mean for your business?
Yeah. Like your business is just going to kind of be there chugging along. I mean, you're probably plateaued or declining at that point
Mhm.
because you're burned out and you really don't care as much. There's no spark left to anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is why we really wanted to bring this topic up because this is something that a lot of business owners really don't like to talk about. I mean, we see it all the time. We ask the business owner, "Hey, how's business?" Mickey, what do they say?
Well, it depends if it's before they're tab members or not. Because if they're before tab members, it's great, Neal. But once
Yeah,
they're tab members, it's more, hey, buddy, we need to make some payroll this week. So it
yeah,
really depends. But
it really depends. But like the ones that are not our tab members, we mask it,
yeah,
right? It's
absolutely.
you don't want to tell somebody that business sucks, that business is going poorly. So they mask it, and that's right there. That is affecting their life because they don't feel like they're reaching their goals. It's also affecting their health because they're obviously stressed out about things. But we never talk about those things. We only always talk about business. And I think it's very unfair to entrepreneurs specifically that that's not a normal thing that's discussed.
Yeah. Yeah. And it goes along to one of our members that they had a big event and they were going to be in Texas, or one event, it was a big job. His
Mhm.
customer was in Texas. And one of the things that we told him before he left, and it seemed really odd, and he looked at us funny, didn't he? And
Yep.
he
Yeah.
said, make sure while you're there, you go to a local restaurant and have dinner. Enjoy
Yep.
a little bit of the local cuisine. And it was a dual thing for that. One was so that he would take a break, of
Mhm.
course. So he would revive himself. And at the same time, with all the travels, of course, being in the Navy, I know this personally. A lot of Navy guys can tell you where every bar is in every point, but they can't, or port, but they can't tell you, hey, yeah, Jamaica's got this really cool statue and they've got waterfalls. So that was the whole point with that, was say enjoy where you're at, because where
Yep.
you're at is part of your journey. And so that was why we said, hey, make sure you eat somewhere nice. And he does that every place he goes now.
Yeah, now because he travels all over now,
Yeah.
and that is one thing he does. He always tries out like these restaurants to find his favorite one,
Yeah.
and it's it's really helped take away the work aspect of things. So it's not just solely focused on the business. Now actually enjoying these places in the U.S. where he's never been able to go, and now he's going and actually enjoying life with it.
Yeah. He was so excited when he came back and said, hey, I tried this one place, the Tex-Mex. And he was all excited. He told us that was one of the things that we held him accountable for.
Yep,
But
he made that a commitment and
yep,
he was super stoked
yep.
about that.
And he went, I think he saw like the Alamo or some other stuff while he was there. He actually enjoyed the local environment, not just focused on work, which is, you know, that's so important. Neal, you talk about this a lot with the life, health, and business being the three legs of a stool.
Yes. Yep. Because I mean, all those things right there. If one of them goes out, what matters? Like, what are the other two going to do? Right? Like, if you have a problem with your life, the health is going to follow because life is stressful, or it may be something that truly does impact your health and your life. The same point, and then you're not even going to focus on your business. We've even had members say that they've had such a traumatic life experience or
Yeah,
thing happen to them, they're not even going to focus on their business for 2 weeks.
yeah,
Like
I can't
the
imagine.
yeah, there's no way I could not take a phone call, email, text message for 2 weeks.
You would just
And
do what you need to do.
I would 100% do. And it'd be like, here you go, buddy, take it away.
Yeah,
But most people wouldn't be able to come back to a business at all. And if you don't have all three of those, if we're not watching all three of those and keeping all three of those aligned, that stool is one, it's not even going to exist. It's not going to be a stool. Two, it's going to be wobbly. If we're
mhm,
just watching those legs just kind of like dwindle down, then it's just going to become just like a pile of mess, right?
yeah. And you're just gonna fall.
It's just going to fall. So you have to make sure that this is like a big thing. And we see this with small business owners all the time that, they don't focus on life or health. Like we actually just had a member tell us that, they're not getting any sleep because they're so busy
Yeah.
and they have kids.
Yeah.
It's like we've got to change that because your kids are the most important thing in life, like the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't miss those soccer games. Don't miss those
Favorite
recitals.
cup, Dad.
Here you go. Yep. It's
Yep.
like if you were creating a business to miss aspects of your child's life or your spouse's life, what's the point of having a spouse or having children?
Yep.
You're just that absent parent that work was more important than they were. And that's what they see in life. And it's like, that's what they're growing up with. And it's when you get to that retirement stage,
Yeah.
what's your relationship going to be like with your family?
Yeah.
Is it going to be full of regrets for you as the business owner? Or is it going to be, thank goodness I was a business owner and able to make every dance recital, every soccer game, every event my kid was in?
And this is important. Just a little story about Neal and I. Both of us, our commitments, our life, our whys are our family. Those
100%.
are critical to us. Nothing comes before our family. And Neal and I share calendars, and I can see when dance recitals are, when birthday parties are, and he sees the same. Yesterday, I took my son to see F1. That
Yep.
was something he wanted to do, and he wanted Dad to take him. I blocked the calendar, and that's what I'm doing during that time. And what's great about it for Neal and I, because Neal we're always meeting people. And when Neal pulls up that calendar, he looks at my calendar. He never ever schedules anything in time that I have family members that I have blocked off. And neither do I. I don't ever schedule anything. And if I know Neal's got a dance recital with his little sweet, sweet daughter who just turned 5, happy birthday.
Good, thank you.
Yeah. I don't text him either. I don't let him do it. And I have gotten text from Neal where he's just texted me something and he knows I'm out golfing with my son. My son, every birthday, that's what his present for me is he wants to go golf. So when I golf, I get a text message and Neal say, hey, this is just a placeholder for us to talk about later. You better not answer this text. He says that every time. He knows how important that is to me. And we've had meetings. There was a meeting that you and I were at, and I was talking to somebody, and he'll come up and tap me on the shoulder and says, hey, bud, you got to go. Because he knows life, health, and business is critical. And it's critical for me in my life. My personal life is very important to me. And we try very hard to maintain that.
And I think, Micky, right there, I think you're touching on really an even more like a bigger point than what we're even talking about today, because we're talking about life, health, and business for the entrepreneur, for the small business owner. But you're even going so far as to take it to the employee. So the small business owner keeping tabs on the life, health, and business of their employees to say, hey, I know what's important to you. This is important to you in life. I will go out of my way to make sure that your life is being taken care of and you're not focused solely on the business, that your health is being taken care of. Like that even goes even further than just the small business owner. Because I mean, you've been a small business owner before. Everything falls on your shoulders. Like how many hats do you wear a day?
More than I can count.
How many hats do you wear at a time?
More than I want to admit.
Right. So it's like, it's so easy for us to do that. And we just completely forget even about our employees. That it's bad enough that we forget about ourselves, but now we forget about the people who are relying upon us to put food on their table.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
that's true. That goes to burnout for them as well if you're not honoring their boundaries. And that goes to probably a future podcast for us is company culture. And in that culture. And that is something that Neal has done as the Tab owner. He's made sure the culture in our company is that way. I never have to worry about that. I'm going to send Neal and go, hey, Neal, I need to take some time to go spend with my son. I don't even worry about it. I know he's not going to be upset. He's going to be like, okay, man, cool. Have fun. That's it.
You just want your $20 back that you lost last podcast. That's what this is. I see.
Yeah. So you got to explain the $20 for our listeners because they don't know.
Yeah. So every time Mickey and I say something nice about each other, it's like owe each other $20. Um, I'm really trying to make my money back on him, but he keeps saying nice things, so it's kind of difficult to do that. So I think he just says it just to say it, so he doesn't have to owe me anything.
No, no. I mean,
Pretty sure that's where that
for,
goes.
for an Air Force guy, you're pretty good, dude.
I mean, I did hire a Navy guy, but
See, you knew what the right thing to do was. See?
I'll be good.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
be good. Yeah.
But,
But
but when you talk about life, health, and business, one of the key pieces to that is to have a good support system behind you. And
yeah.
we talked about this in our last podcast about peer boards.
Mhm.
Those are incredible support systems for you as a small business owner.
Man, that's almost like a secondary effect of having a support system and of people who care.
Yeah.
Like, when somebody walks in and we start giving numbers for life, health, and business, and somebody says something that is, higher than what they've ever given, and people start cheering,
Yeah. That's
they
awesome.
care,
Yeah.
right? Like, how many small business owners can say they can walk into a group of 5 to 7 other people and start cheering because they gave a number higher than 6,
Yeah.
and they are stoked, like celebrating.
They were happy when they came in
They
and
were happy, like they're so invested into their lives.
yeah.
They care so much. Now, as a business owner, how does that impact them? Right? Like, they now know that they are truly supported in everything where they're at.
Yeah.
And like, I know we talk about life and health, not as much as business, but quite a bit in our boards. I'm sure you see that too,
Mhm.
like in your boards.
Yeah. Well, and you've even had that situation come up on your board where somebody came in and they were in bad health and it was going to be basically 2 weeks. They weren't going to get on the business. And,
Correct.
you could tell a little bit more about that story because that was powerful.
Yeah, so we had somebody come in and they're a very optimistic person. They've always given like 8s and 9s, sometimes 10s across the board, like very optimistic, very happy-go-lucky kind of individual. And when they came in and said that, life is a 3, that you could literally hear that pin drop miles away. Like, I mean, it was one of those like, what just happened? The board immediately split up, and half the board started working with the life aspect of things to help that person kind of get that figured out, whereas the other half of the board started trying to figure out how to keep the company from going under and from like seeing a really, really bad quarter and a really, really bad month, because they're not going to do anything with it. They have to focus on the life. Like, life takes precedence over business.
Yep.
It just does. And so they put in all these different stopgaps. They started working with each other to kind of figure these things out. And when we looked back the next quarter, it just looked like a little dip in what was happening.
That's powerful.
So, I mean,
That is a support system that we're talking
yes.
about, having that behind you. And it's not just the peer boards, it's family, friends. Those things are incredible, and we need to nurture those relationships as well. We can't just let that leg, because if you kick one leg out on a 3-legged stool, the rest of you're just going down. You're going down.
Exactly. And it's much better to be sitting on a 3-legged stool than a no-legged stool, because that's what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And as much as we talk about support systems and friends in place, you also, and this is probably the hardest thing entrepreneurs have to do. You have to unplug.
Oh man.
You got to stop and say, you know what? From 5 to 7, I'm not working. I'm not looking at my phone and I'm not doing anything. Neal, you're great at this. I can see, because Neal and I have iPhones and I can see when he's in do not disturb. And every night when it's his daughter's time, the routine for the night routine, Neal's just unreachable. He completely unplugs from everything and the only focus is on his why.
Yep. That's exactly it. And it's, you know, I'll text people back, I'll return calls or text messages or emails after bedtime, like after she goes to bed.
Yeah.
But there is nothing that I will do while I'm with her because she needs to know that she is the most important thing to me. And she is way more important than the work aspect.
Yeah.
So, because I want her growing up with that,
Yeah. Yeah.
like knowing that. And unplugging, man, that is. Have you ever walked in somewhere and just seen the parents on the phone and the kid
Yeah.
just sitting there?
Yeah.
Happens all the time. What is going to happen to our society when those kids get older?
Yeah.
What have they been shown that is more important than them?
Yeah.
You
Exactly
know,
right.
it's terrifying to
It
me.
is. Yeah. And it's and by the way, his daughter is she she's like my little niece, and that girl is something else. She has gotten me to do things that there's videos of that we're not going to talk about on this podcast.
Oh yeah, we will probably have some little edits and
No,
cuts
no,
in
we don't
of
need
the
that.
embarrassing moments.
Yeah, but she's precious, and that's important, and she needs that nourishment and that dad to be present all the time. And family matters, it does. And you don't want to be one day wake up at 60, 70, or whatever, you finally reach your plateau, you sell your business, and you're on vacation by yourself because there's nobody around.
And I mean that's huge because going back to this life thing, like back in May earlier this year, we had some very traumatic things happen in our family. We had 3 deaths within a week, and my wife and I went back to Missouri twice for funerals. It was just a very traumatic time, and that was at the beginning of May. I really didn't get back into the swing of things until like probably what's the end of the first week of June, second week of June kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it didn't matter. Like
Yeah.
I literally had to drop everything for, what our family was experiencing. The life really hit us hard. And, fortunately I had a great support network. I mean, thanks to Micky, nobody in Tab knew unless I told them. So I was very blessed in that aspect. But at the same point, if we didn't talk about life, health, and business, Micky never would have known.
Yeah.
If I didn't openly share that stuff, if business owners don't use their support network or even have a support network to talk about with,
Mhm.
that could have dramatically influenced, our business.
Yeah.
So
And our members didn't see a beat, a miss.
no, the only ones who knew were the ones I told I had to reschedule meetings
Yeah.
with until they saw my numbers during the next tab board, and they were like,
Yeah.
that's way off for you. And so I explained it to them, and that's when they were like, oh, now we know.
Yeah.
And then they were there to even support. Like that
Yeah.
was probably the coolest thing. The tab members, like our members were they were there to support me in everything that I needed.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways.
Yeah. Our members are amazing. They
Oh my
really
gosh,
are.
they're awesome.
And I've even got one of my members that she's such a big fan of me. She's even trying to get Neal to give me a raise, and but it's
She's
not
got
going
a lot of talking to do.
to. But that support system is vital. I mean, what would that have meant to you? What would that have been like for you if you didn't have anybody to help?
Man, I mean, I didn't get back into I didn't do any social media posts like on my own for the entire month. I didn't do most of the tab thing. It was all just like my networking that I usually do was down. Like I went to hardly any networking events. I didn't do anything because one, I didn't feel like it. I was so focused on, life and our family and, being that support system for them, that business was just there. It was cool to have in the background, but it wasn't anything I cared about at the time.
Yeah.
So,
It wasn't, but we have that relationship that you had it covered. If there's anything that needed to come up, you were covered. And that's important. We talked about that last podcast too, with your number twos being raised up and trained to be able to cover for you in that event. And this can go into another topic that we'll talk about another time, is development of your people. and helping them be in that position to cover you so that you can be normal.
Yeah. But it all comes down to like developing that number two. It all comes down to understanding their life, health, and business, understanding your life, health, and business, and being able to, and having that environment to openly share it. So
Yeah.
you can truly be supported when it comes to these things. Because we've all experienced, traumatic events in our lives.
Mhm.
And it's how we get through it and who gets through it with us is really how it's going to affect us and specifically our business, if it's going to be there or not, or if it's going to be where it was when that happened.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, it looks like we are about at the end of it now. So thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of the Tab Lab. It's always fun to talk with Micky. He always says nice things about me, so I enjoy it. So it's great.
You're all
But
right for an Air Force guy. I'll give you a little credit there.
thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. But if you guys do have anything that you would like us to talk about or want more information on, please feel free to drop it in the comments. Send us an email at info@tabemeraldcoast.com, and we will take it and we will run with it, hard telling what we're going to talk about when it comes to that. So if you want something specific, please make it specific. Otherwise, I'm just going to give it to Micky and hard telling really what's going to happen with it, because he'll do his whole Navy thing and take it way off into the unknown, kind of from there.
Yeah.
But the next episode we're going to talk about is vision and why vision is so important. And kind of we'll probably also talk about the difference between a vision and a mission statement, because those two
They're different?
yeah, what?
Yeah.
They're the same, or they sound the same, and they really have no idea why they have both or even one. So we are going to discuss the vision and why it is like the root of everything in business. So until next time, thank you guys.
Yeah. Hustling and grinding, don't know where to go. Emerald Coast board, got the knowledge flow. Whispers in the wind, strategies unfold. Business blueprint like a pirate's code.